Good morning, traders. Welcome to our very first edition of the year 2022 of the Elliott Way Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a good start to the new year, when wishing you many peeps in the new year and a lot of profits. All right, so let's get right into it. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking at the charts. Most of them, we're going to look at them in the higher time frames just to get the perspective and what we'll be looking at into the next couple of sessions, and also into the next couple of months and years. So basically short, medium, and a bit of long term on the charts, as it is our first webinar, so we can get perspective and direction of how we are looking at the market in the new year. All right, so guys, before we get started, if you'd like to contact us, you can go onto our new YouTube channel. It's called Trading Waves. So if you go to our channel, you will find our contact details under the description of all our videos. You'll find our contact details and also the links to our social media pages. That is the links to the Twitter account, as well as our Facebook pages. You can follow us there, and you will find a lot of updates about the charts that we're posting for members, and some of the charts that we're posting for free. Also, you will find the link to our brand new website, not so brand new anymore. We have migrated to the new website now, called trading-waves.com as of November last year. So all content for all our members is on that website, trading-waves.com. You can click directly from the link under there, under the description of all the videos, so that it can take you straight there. Also, check out our content calendar just to see some of the services that we offer for our members. Check out the content calendar and the timing. All right, so that's how we have it. And as an announcement, our next course, the first course of the year, starts in the first week of February. And that starts on the 7th of February. So if you'd like to subscribe for that course, you can do so on that new website. Just go to subscription or the courses, educational videos, and then you can book your course. You will have access immediately to the course on that, because that is recorded on the website. So then when we have the live one in February, then you've already watched the course. You can engage, you can ask questions live on the webinar. Without further ado, let's get right into our market analysis for the week. As I said, I'm going to be looking mostly at long-term charts and also look at short-term views and some trade setups. Let's have a look at the DXY first of all. Now, this is the DXY weekly chart, and I'm just going to look at the end of it, the last end of the swing on the DXY. Now, if you look at the DXY, there is a very clear pattern there, and that is a regular flat. This is accepted as a regular flat. If you remember last year, we were looking for this to still continue here to come and take the low here, but that view has been invalidated after the move to the upside. So what we're seeing here with the DXY is that we've got that move here. We've got that swing here with 5 waves up. Now looking at this one to be a corrective structure. We have already started a move to the upside with 5 waves here. These are 5 waves here on the DXY. So whatever is happening here in the lower degrees, as we're going to go into the lower degree, is the start of the new move to the upside. So we're going to have a move like this, and we're going to have a continuation pattern to the upside. So I'm going to go down here to the lower time frame. So what you're seeing here is a classic case of an ABC regular flat here. So after the regular flat, we see a continuation of the move to the upside. I'm not going to go into the detail of this. I'm just going to look at this area here on the DXY. Let's have a look at that on the daily. Let's just go daily and then 4 hour. So on the daily, you will see that we are currently consolidating around this area as far as the DXY is concerned. So we'll be looking at this structure to see what it is forming here in the lower degree. So we have got that, and we'll be looking for this to either give us a double here before it makes a move to the upside. But let's have a look at that clearly on the 4 hour to see what is happening here in the next coming session. So the 4 hour looks something like this. Now, the 4 hour structure is actually pretty interesting. If we let's have a look at the pattern that this is building. So what we're seeing here is an interesting pattern. Let me see if I've marked it. Yes, I have. But I'm just going to show you this with the annotation. So what we're seeing here is a a regular flat in the making in the lower degree, and that regular flat seems to be incomplete. And what we're seeing here is that this is going to come back down here, and we're still going to push to the upside. So what is the structure of this regular flat? Because we must understand that. So we've got this here as a 3 waves, you've got this as a 3 waves, you've got this as a 3 waves. So let's show all those 3 waves. That's a 3-wave move down, that's a 3-wave move to the upside, and this is another 3-wave move here with a complex corrective structure here. So you've got a very nice textbook structure here of a WXY corrective structure here before we make a move to the upside. So that is the structure that we'll be looking at here. Just hold the. So I just wanted to close the video panel there. So we've got a clear case of a WXY corrective structure here, which is a regular flat, and then we'll be looking for this one to come take the low here and then push to the upside. So for now, in the next coming session, the DXY we expected to push a little bit lower and then push to the upside. The Euro, on the other hand, is the same structure in the higher degree. Difference is that in the 4-hour, the Euro is making what looks like a triangle. Okay, it's a triangle with a flat top and ascending bottom. That is the Euro. Now you'll see that there's direct correlation with between the Euro and the DXY, even if the Euro is making a triangle. So let's have a look at that. So we've got to move up here in 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like we are on the 4. We're now looking for the 5th wave here of the triangle. So that means A, B, C, D, and E. So as much as the DXY, we're looking for the DXY to complete the move to the downside, to complete the regular flat. We are looking for Euro, US dollar to push a little bit up higher to complete the triangle and then come back down. So as you see, what you see me doing here is that there is a possibility for this to overshoot. That is normal. It's acceptable for a triangle for a wave E to overshoot above the upper boundary or the lower boundary of the last on the last wave. So it does not have to happen, but that's just a possibility. That if it does happen, you don't disqualify the triangle immediately. Just wait for it and wait for confirmation that it's going to come back down. So if we do that, then we're going to have our triangle. So that is the DXY and the Euro. Now, pound US dollar, we've seen our view change slightly over December. Let's just have a look here in the bigger structure. But the structure on the pound US dollar is pretty clear. So let's have a look at the bigger one in the weekly chart so we can see. So initially what we were looking for, we're still looking for this to be a flat correction. Only difference is that this is going to be now an expanding flat. So we were looking for this to have completed its running flat and for this to continue to the downside like this. So that would have been a nice ABC, ABCD running flat, and then we push to the downside. But it looks like we've only come down here correctively. This is a corrective structure and we're still going to get one more up. Now, if we get that one more up, takes the top here, then we're going to have this one. It's already take the bottom. So a pattern that takes the top and takes the bottom is obviously an expanding flat. So there's a possibility for you pound US dollar to come take the top here and still come down. The bigger structure will still be an expanding flat. So let's have a look here in the lower degree, what we expect of this structure. This is a very clear corrective structure. So let's have a look at how that has played out on the daily. So the daily chart on pound US dollar, you'll see that it has come down here with a regular flat here in the middle. So we've got this move here coming down, 1, 2, 3, clear 3-wave structure, blue box, and started pushing to the upside. What are we expecting going forward? We expect some consolidation and for this to continue pushing to the upside. So that is what we're looking at on pound US dollar. Let's have a look here in the lower degree to see what to expect. So that pullback may not happen at current level. You may find that pound US dollar continues to push a little bit higher until we get that pullback, but we're still expecting this to continue pushing to the upside. Now, as you can see, short term, we're expecting the US dollar to be weak. So it's not surprising that we see that the US dollar CAD is showing us some weakness here as well. And that the bigger structure on the US dollar CAD is showing us a bearish move. So we'll show that shortly. Let's have a look at the bigger structure here on the daily on the US dollar CAD. Now, if you look at that on US dollar CAD, there's a move to the upside here. We've got 3 waves down. We've got 3 waves to the upside. There's a possibility for 5 waves or 3 waves to the downside to come and make this structure, after which we're going to have something like this. So for now, as far as US dollar CAD is concerned, we are looking for this to come back around this level. So any continuation pattern, only set up to the downside here, as far as the US dollar CAD is concerned, we can look to take that. Let's go to the 4-hour on USDCAD and see how this is playing out. So that is what we have there. You'll have this one as 1, 2, 3, and looking for this one. This is actually a pullback in a zigzag. This is already confirmed a move to the downside. So this should continue pushing to the downside. Only the way that can be disqualified is if this is going to be an expanding flat, but I don't see that being an expanding flat like this. I'm not looking at that structure. I'm expecting this to continue to the downside to make the bigger structure in the daily as we've shown. Short-term strength in the US dollar, as you can see, is still we're still expecting the dollar to be weak. Short-term, just close that. I don't know why it's popping up on my screen. Let's go back to the daily on US dollar chief. So all these pairs are now setting up very nicely because the structures are pretty clear. We can see that there's weakness in the US dollar. The US dollar, the DXY is showing us that, and the US dollar chief is confirming exactly that. The structure that we'll be looking at towards the end of last year on US dollar chief was this one. We're looking for this one to be making a 3-wave structure like this. That 3-wave structure eventually completed, and we started with a move to the downside. Now that move to the downside is still going to continue in the next coming session as we are setting up here for a continuation move to the downside and possibly back to around this level as far as US dollar chief is concerned. So we're going to have something like this. We're going to have this one as an A, B, C corrective structure. Lower degree here, you'll have a lower degree A, B, C corrective structure with a complex B there, and we'll be looking for this one to continue to the downside. We are getting set up here for a continuation to the downside. As soon as the indicator confirms that move, we'll be looking to take that. So that is the move here. That is our C here. And if you wanted to go even higher, then you'll have this one, you'll have this one. So we're still going to be sideways for a while here as far as US dollar chief is concerned. So that's the move that we're looking at. Let's also have here an ABC corrective structure. That's just putting the labels here. ABC corrective structure. We're not going to worry about the purple for now. That is long-term focused. For now, we're looking at the short-term move here. Let's have a look at that move in the 4-hour and see what we're getting there. So on the 4-hour, we're getting this set up for a continuation move to the downside. We'll expect this one to continue to the downside. That is a 3-wave pullback here on US dollar chief. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. We're looking for this to push to the downside. This don't just come here and sell it as it is. Wait for it to pull back and give you at least a setup on the 1 hour that will be confirmed by in the indicator or whichever strategy that you use. We've got our own specific strategy and the indicator that we use to confirm when the setup is ready to go. Audi US dollar, slightly different to the rest. So we'll simply expect. Okay, let's just show the bigger structures I indicated. I'm going to show you bigger structures for most pairs. Audi US dollar is still pretty much bearish. It's still pretty bearish as you've seen here. We've got this move, we've got this move. We're still expecting Audi US dollar to continue pushing lower like that. Now, this is a WXY corrective structure that we're expecting here on Audi US dollar. So we're anticipating that this is not complete and this is still going to continue to the downside. But do not come and rush here. You need to get confirmation because this can be an even deeper corrective structure here in 3 waves before it pushes to the downside. And especially as we're seeing that the euro is showing some strength, or rather the US dollar is showing weakness, not the euro showing strength. The US dollar is showing some weakness. So let's have a look at this on the 4-hour and see what the possibilities here is as on the Audi US dollar. We've got a 3-wave move to the upside here. I'm looking at this as a 3-wave pullback actually. And this could be on its way to the downside, but we are seeing that this one has made a 3-wave push to the downside. That's the move there. We can have this one pulling back like this before pushing lower. So a slight move to the upside as far as Audi is concerned is also still a possibility. Okay, there are a number of possibilities that I can show you here. We just don't want to confuse it, but let's have as few options as possible because whenever we get the correct one, this can be confirmed. So you'll see that here. Here's another possibility here of the structure that could possibly form here. You can have this one as a WXY corrective structure, and this one could push around this level and continue to the downside. But you can see that overall, medium term, we are looking for Audi to be bearish. New Zealand US dollar also not showing strength, and New Zealand US dollar. So the reason why I'm expecting Audi US dollar to also still push slightly to the upside is because New Zealand US dollar is showing us clear confirmation that it's going to push to the upside. We have got this as 3 waves here, and those 3 waves I'm going to look at that as 1, that's 2, and we're looking for this one to push a little bit higher, there's a possibility that we come around this level and then we push lower, and we're going to have our structure like this, and then we have this double correction here around this level before we push to the downside. So confirmation here of upside here, we'll be looking for this to come around this level before we come down. Right, so that is New Zealand. US dollar ZAR, we were looking for US dollar ZAR to resume a move to the upside after making this corrective structure. We started looking at this one to be a move, all the corrections, so that we can get another leg to the upside, but instead we've only got this to be a corrective structure. And what it is doing now is that we've got a complex B correction here. We've got 3 waves down. Let's show it clearly. We've got 3 waves down, we've got 3 waves back here with a complex B here, and it is still coming down to around this level. So possibilities are for US dollar ZAR to come back to around 1530 before any resumption of the move to the upside. A clear case of a WXY pullback here on the 4-hour on US dollar ZAR. Let's go to the yen pairs. Now, looking at the yen pairs, again, let's have a look here. Let's have a bit of a discussion here with pound yen and what we looked at last time. Similar to pound US dollar. Pound yen, we looked at 2 possibilities here. Let's have a look at it. So the first possibility was that pound yen rather would have completed its bigger structure. Now, if it has completed its bigger structure, that means from here, pound yen would have made its last wave here, and we're going to come and drop to the downside. But what we saw here was that there was a potential structure here on pound yen, where this can make one more leg to the upside before the drop. So eventually we have played out this running flat, clear ABC structure here on the running flat. So that's going to take, already tagged the top here, and we expect this to push a little bit higher so that we can get the move to the downside. So we've got here 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So it's actually 5 waves here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this leg that you see that we're currently on is the 5th leg, and then we'll be looking for this one to push to the downside. And all the overall structure here will be a clear ABC expanding flat. That's how we're going to be looking at that, for that to push slightly higher to give us the last wave 5 in the red degree here before the drop. So what are we expecting in the next coming sessions? We're still expecting this to continue to the upside. So any 4-hour move to the upside here, any 4-hour setup, we still take, but take cautiously because we've already made a significant move to the upside. So you can get a move like this on pound yen, you can get this structure here and a continuation to the upside, and that looks like that's what's going to happen here with pound yen. So that was the structure with all the yen pairs. Now with US dollar yen on the 4-hour, we are simply looking for this to be pulling back here in 3 waves, but the bigger structure, if you remember, that what we're still looking for here on US dollar yen is this is still going to push to the upside. Look at the weekly chart. So the weekly chart is still pretty much bullish here on US dollar yen. So the US dollar is bullish long term. So we're still expecting this. So even if you see this pullback, the structure that we're expecting here is this. And if we make it more detailed, we'll be looking for possibility for this to do to make a structure like this. So we are still here on the weekly. We are looking for this to consolidate and continue to push to the upside. Let's go down to the 4-hour on US dollar yen. We are currently pulled back as we're seeing the rest of the US dollar pairs pulling back. So that is the structure that we're seeing here. Let's see how far this can pull back. We can't even get a double correction before we get a continuation move to the upside. So let's see, this is still pretty much immature, still very much in the making. So let's wait for this to complete. That is US dollar yen, euro yen. Now euro yen, bigger structure again, so you can see where this is coming from. So euro yen on the bigger structure, just like pound yen, we've got this one as a 1-2, making this a flat correction here. We're looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. So we'll be looking for this one to continue pushing up higher. Okay, so that is euro yen. So let's have a look at this in the lower degree. What are we getting here in the lower degree? 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, we'll be looking for this to continue pushing to the upside with the rest of the yen pairs. We may get this as a move here and a move to the upside. But I need to show you the weekly chart to see why this will push to the upside some more. Now, if you look on the weekly chart, you'll see that this is incomplete. This is a 3-wave structure to the upside, 3-wave back, and a push to the upside, then we can still get this structure here. So that's why this consolidation here we'll still look for this to push to the upside. I did indicate last year that if this pushes to the downside, it's going to change the whole structure, and that is now pushed to the upside. Is confirming the initial bias, so we still expect this to push slightly higher to even around 150 or more. Okay, so 140 is a possibility, and 150 is even a possibility on euro yen. So that's what we're looking at. And euro yen, chief yen, I'm still on the weekly. So chief yen as well, we've been looking for chief yen to reverse at current levels. Is it going to reverse eventually? Because that's what we're looking for. The structure on the weekly is what we're looking for there. Let's go look at the 4-hour here on chief. What are we expecting here on chief? We already got a move to the downside, but that move is nothing confirming that this is a reversal. So we have started here. This looks like a 5-wave move to the upside. So that's 1, 2. That's 3. That looks like we're going to be in a wave 4. We should push one more up here on chief yen before we drop. So with the rest of the yen pairs pushing to the upside, we expect chief yen to push slightly to the upside as well before the move to the downside. Okay, so that is chief yen, AUD yen. Now, AUD yen is not showing as much strength as the rest of the yen pairs, because this looks like a 3-wave structure. And if this is a 3-wave structure, we should see a 3-wave pullback like that before a continuation move to the upside. So let's watch this pulling back here and setting up for a move to the upside. It also has similar structure to the rest, which is the regular flat that I'll show you again on the daily. It's clearer to see on the daily. See here, that regular flat that you see on all the yen pairs except for the US dollar yen, that is the structure, and we're still expecting that to continue slightly up higher. New Zealand will be similar as well, but only that structure will now be an expanding flat. It's rather a running flat. We're going to push to the upside. This looks like 3 waves on New Zealand yen, so we'll expect this one to push slightly back. If this is going to push to the upside, we may have this one as a corrective structure. We may not even retest the highs here, and New Zealand may start the move to the downside from around those levels. But let's watch it for now and monitor what happens there. CAD yen is showing us continuation to the upside. We've got a 3-wave move to the downside here. This is going to push to the upside. It was making a similar structure to the rest, but as you can see, there's now no relationship between this and this, because this is an impulse. You cannot have a B wave that is an impulse. A B wave is supposed to be a 3-wave or a 5 waves if it's a triangle. So there's no relationship with this. So this looks like the last leg here, and we're going to have a continuation pattern, a continuation move to the upside here as far as CAD yen is concerned. You will see that CAD overall is showing strength across the market, and that is because of the oil strength across board. So CAD should show strength or across all the pairs. Let's have a look at the rest. So those are all the yen pairs. Now let's have a look at the commodities. Gold. So if you see the yen pairs pushing upside to the upside, you'll expect the commodities to push lower, because that, let's have a look at, so usually when the yen pairs push up higher, you'll find your commodities pushing lower. And when the yen pairs push lower, it's vice versa on the commodities. That's because the yen is supposed to be a safe haven asset as well as the commodities. So there is an inverse correlation between the yen pairs and gold. So let's have a look here. We're looking at gold. We are expecting that gold is going to push to the downside, but we're looking at this structure here on the daily. Let's see what it looks like on the 4-hour. So usually when there's uncertainty in the market, that's what you will see. You will see the yen pairs dropping and gold pushing up higher. So there's relatively calm in the market at the moment. So let's have a look here. Gold structure is as follows. So we're looking at this one to have made a 1, a 2, a 3 here, and we're expecting gold to continue pushing lower. Any setup here on the 1 hour as far as gold is concerned, we're looking for it to continue to the downside. Let's show the bigger structure here on the daily, why we're looking for gold to continue lower. Remember, we are still looking for this structure on gold. We've got the 3 waves to the downside. We've got the 3 waves to the upside. We're still looking for the 3 waves to the downside as we have been looking at last year. So we are looking for gold to eventually even come back to around 1640 again. So we can look at that structure, WXY structure here in the purple degree. So gold can still come down to that level. And here you could have a structure like this. So still pretty much sideways on gold, not really going anywhere for the longest time. We're going to be stuck in this range for some time. Silver, should expect that to continue lower, obviously, with gold coming down. This is going to continue to the downside as well. Will it come down here, make the structure? Because that is a possibility. But another thing that we looked at here on silver is that this could be making a diagonal, an ending diagonal here. So if it's making an ending diagonal, that means you've got here your impulsive move, which is your A, you've got your corrective structure here, and you're going to have your C here. So that's going to be completing the C wave here. So that's your B here, and that's your C wave. And your internal structures here are 1, 2, 3. You've got here a 1, 2, 3. You've got your 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're looking for this one to be going for the 5th wave here in the ending diagonal. That is how we're looking at silver. So at the end of that move, we should expect this one to make a move to the upside. All right, so that's what we're looking at there. Right, so we'll be looking for silver to push lower here and reverse around those levels. Platinum, still bearish from last year. That is a continuation pattern for more downside. So we're still expecting platinum to continue lower. We'll expect that to push lower together with gold. Brent crude oil, as I've indicated, there is overall strength across board as far as the CAD pair is concerned, and that's largely because of the oil strength. So oil looks to be on its 5th wave. So if you look at this one here, let's look at the on the daily, and we just look at this structure. That's 1, that's 2, that is 3, and this could be a wave 4 here, and we're looking for this one to be a wave 5. So oil possibility is that it can even reach 100 again after such a very long time. So we're looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. So a break above this level, let's have a look at that level. A break above 86 on oil, 86, 87. We're going to be seeing 100 afterwards. So let's have a look at this on the lower degree. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So in the lower degree, we're looking for this to continue pushing to the upside. So we could even have this one being the wave 4 before we push to the upside. But either way, we're still expecting oil to reach the highs at around 100. So that's what we're looking at there. So the structure here internally will be 5 waves down here, 3 waves here, and we look for another 5 waves to the downside here and a move to the upside. Either that or this can just give us a pullback and we see continuation to the upside. If we break around this level before pushing lower, we're going to see that 100 without a push, without one leg to the downside. That is oil. Pound AUD. Now, pound AUD, if those of you who've been watching the webinars from last year will remember that we got the move from here on pound AUD, looking for this to continue to the downside, but we only got this 200 pips there. Let's just make sure here. So we only got the 200 pips before it made the reversal, about 500 pips on pound AUD before the reversal to the upside. So the structure that we were looking for on pound AUD was that this has completed and we're looking for this to continue lower. But what we're seeing here now is that this has not completed and it's actually making a 3-wave move to the upside. It makes sense to expect pound AUD to come and retest the previous highs at 192 with this 3-wave structure, because we've started with these 3 waves. We're pulling back here with these 3 waves. Will it come here and make a flat correction or just push to the upside? If you look at pound New Zealand, you'll see that it is supporting that pound AUD pushes to the upside. So what we're going to expect in the next coming session is that any continuation pattern here, whether it's on the 4 or the 1 hour, we expect it to push up higher to about 9,200. That is about 300 pips from current levels. So we'll be looking for this one to continue to that level. Okay, so bigger structure on pound AUD, and why we'll expect that to push to the upside is this one here. So we'll be looking for pound AUD to continue pushing up higher. So we've got that bigger move here. That's 3. That is a pullback. It will not be surprising to see pound AUD take the 192 level, even make a flat here, even make another leg to the upside to around 2 before coming down. But we're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to worry about this 300 pip move to this level to see if we're going to reverse at that level or we're going to continue pushing up at that level. That is pound AUD. As I've indicated, pound New Zealand is supporting a move to the upside, continuation move to the upside. As you can see here, you'll see that we've got 3 waves to the upside. We've got 3 waves to the downside. Now, pound New Zealand should continue to push to the upside to complete that structure. We started with 3 waves to the downside. So we will see this one breaking up higher above this level. Any continuation pattern, any setup here on the 4 hour, we'll look for this to continue pushing to around 2.1 there. That is pound New Zealand. Let's look at it on the 4-hour to see if we've got any opportunity to ride onto the trend. Not yet. We'll wait for this one to give us a pullback, either 4 or 1 hour. This is pretty much bullish. We'll look for it to continue pushing up higher. Pound CAD. Right, so pound CAD, we are pushing back lower. Let's have a look here in the bigger structure. We are pulling back slightly. Okay, so let's have a look here. Now, if you look at pound AUD, it's got a pretty complex structure here. We need to understand this. We don't just look at this as a waves that are overlapping. There is a clear pattern here that we need to identify. Let's have a look here. Let's switch that off here. Now, if you look at this, I need to switch off all the labelings there. So if you look at this here, you'll see that we've got a 3-wave move to the upside. We've got what looks like another 3-wave move to the downside. We started with this impulsive move to the downside. Let's draw this with a straight line. We started with this impulsive move to the downside. What we have now is 3 up, 3 down. And with that, we may end up with another 3-wave move to the upside. What do I mean by 3 up? This is 3 waves to the upside. This is 3 waves to the downside. I will not be surprised to see another 3 waves to the upside, because what that will do is that you'll have a WXY structure here, and you will have then the completion of this. Then we have this one here, then only then will that structure have been completed, and we'll expect that to continue pushing to the upside. Then we'll have something like that. You'd have, let's use white here. So that structure will complete like that. So internally, you will have WXY in the yellow degree, which is a complex B correction here of the overall purple degree. I hope I'm not complicating it for you. This is something that we do in our course to understand the difference between ABC and WXY. That's how we're able to identify this. So let's have a look at this one. Push a little bit higher, correct, and continue to the upside. That's what we're looking at on pound CAD. So let's see here how this is going to play out. Pound CHF. Pound CHF has got a very clear structure. We've been looking for pound CHF to be bearish from around this level. We've made the 3-wave move to the upside. Now what we have here on the daily on pound CHF is a very nice structure, textbook stuff really. With this in the middle here, you've got 3 waves down, you've got 3 waves up, and you've got another 3 waves to the downside. Look at that. Now, after the 3-wave pullback, we are continuing to the upside. Any continuation pattern here, whether daily, 4 hour or 1 hour, if you've got a setup and confirmation, and confirmation there, and we'll be looking for upside. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is a beautiful structure is because it's so clear, complies with all the rules and the guidelines. This is a WXY structure in the purple. Now, if you look in the lower degree, you'll see we've got a clear 3 waves down. You've got a clear 3 waves up. Nothing forced here. You've got 3 waves to the downside here like this. And now we're looking for this one to start continuation to the upside, so we can have this structure here. We've got 1, 2, 3 here. If we're going to have another 1, 2, 3, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about this so much. This is a clear structure. We've already started with a move to the upside, so we're looking for setups here, either daily, 4 hour or 1 hour for more upside. On confirmation, we look to take advantage of those opportunities. Okay, so that is a pound CHF. Let's see how that plays out. So we should be expecting this one to give us at least a pullback and a continuation to the upside. That is pound CHF. Now looking at the euro pairs, let's have a look at the euro pound. Now euro pound, I'm just going to show you high level on this one. This is bearish. This is a structure. We've got this structure here running flat, and this is continuing to the downside. So the next target here on euro pound is around 0.82. We'll expect this one to come around this level. We've already made this move here. We're expecting this to continue lower. Now in the lower degree here on the euro, let's see if we've got any confirmation of or opportunity to ride onto the trend. If it gives us a nice pullback, so this is too small, we'd expect it to give us something like this. Then we'll want to ride onto the trend and look for trade setups to the downside on euro pound. Euro AUD will follow pound AUD. Let's have a look at the bigger structure. Look at that structure again on euro AUD. You've got 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside. We've got 3 wave pullback here. Look at these 3 waves. Clear A, B, C pullback. Now we expect euro AUD to make a continuation move to the upside with the 3 waves as well, like that. So we'll have this one as a W XY corrective structure here, looking for this one to push up higher. So if you see a pullback here on EURAUD, just know that it's only that, it's a pullback, and it will continue to push to the upside. That's what we're looking at there on EURAUD. Euro New Zealand should also be bullish, and we're looking for this one to have started here. This is the orthodox low here. This is a expanding flat, and this is now pushing up higher from that expanding flat. Any consolidation here on Euro New Zealand, we're looking for it to continue pushing to the upside. EURCAD. Now, EURCAD is showing some a bearish move there. So we've got a move up here in 3. We're still expecting this one to continue lower. We've got a continuation pattern here. So this could push slightly lower here. We've got a move down. We've got a pullback. We're expecting this one to push slightly lower. So in the next coming session, we expect EURCAD to continue lower. With oil showing strength, we'll expect the EURCAD continues to push lower. EUROCHF. EUROCHF looks to be making what looks like an expanding flat like this. So if it's going to push around this level, we'll be looking for this one to continue lower. That is EUROCHF. Let's keep an eye on that one. Looking at the crosses, let's look at the crosses. Audi New Zealand is pretty interesting, as we've got a very interesting structure now. What we looked at before we closed on Euro, or rather on Audi New Zealand, was a structure like this. We had a passing move to the upside. We looked for this one to give us a 3-wave structure down. Now that 3-wave structure came in the form of a running flat here as follows. That's a move down, that's a move up, that's a move down. That's a 3-wave structure. So we expected to have a move back to around this level, which we have now already reached. Now, is that a complete structure? It looks like it. We'll be looking for this now to start pushing lower. Now, if you get a setup here on Audi New Zealand on the 4-hour or the 1-hour, we'll look to take it to the downside on confirmation. When the indicator confirms, we'll be looking for that structure to push lower. Now you'll see that most of the Audi pairs are showing a bearish move to the downside. So they are showing weakness. So we're looking at this one here. That is a nice running flat on AUDCAD. Looking for this one to continue lower. Again, like I said, oil is showing strength. No surprises that we see AUDCAD pushing lower together with the weakness in the Aussie. So we'll look for that to continue lower. AUDCHF, similar. This has made now a 3-wave pullback. We'll expect this one to now drop. Continuation to the downside. New Zealand CAD, another one with a CAD in it, should be bearish. We'll look for this one to continue lower. New Zealand CAD, if you remember, the structure here is this. We actually started selling it from here and has now come down here in this format. If you look at that structure, you've got 1, you've got 2, 3, you've got 1, 2, 3 there, you've got 1, 2, 3. We're expecting this to complete around this level. So this is still bearish. We'll expect that to continue lower. WXY structure to around this level as far as New Zealand CAD is concerned. New Zealand CHF still showing weakness. This is going to still consolidating here. We want it to be a little bit bigger, maybe around this level before dropping, because the structure we're looking at is this one here. An interesting CADJPY. CAD is strong, so we should have this one pushing up higher. So we've already made the structure here in 3, a move up in 3, a move down in 3. What looks like a regular flat has now completed. We started with a move up here in 3, 3 back as you see the structure developing. We expect this one to start pushing to the upside. Now, any pullback here on the daily or the 4-hour, we'll look for CADJPY to push up higher. Obviously, that will be determined by how oil performs. We're looking for oil to continue to be bullish in the next coming session. If that is the case, we'll expect CADJPY to also continue with its bullish move. Right, so that's that on the Forex pairs and the commodities. Now let's have a look at the indices. Now the indices, we were looking for these to push up higher towards the end after they've made these structures. We expected to see new highs. We have made new highs, but it looks like those corrective structures are not complete as yet, and we're going to see some corrective structures. So we've got the 3-wave structure here. We're expecting this to continue lower. I'm on the daily here on the S&P 500. I'm expecting this to at least come back to around 450, 444 to complete this. If it's going to be an expanding flat, we expect this one to drop here before any continuation to the upside. So that means for the next coming session, as far as the S&P 500 is concerned, we're expecting a bearish move back to around this level. let's see how that plays out. So that is the S&P 500. The Dow Jones has got the exact same structure. It's a move down. It's a three-wave move to the upside. Takes the top. It would be not surprising to see the Dow Jones Industrial come back down to around this level. So that's the Dow Jones Industrial. Transportation. Just want to look at transportation because it's showing more bearish move than the industrials to confirm that the indices are going to be bearish in the next coming sessions. Well, we have this one, three waves down. This is a three-wave up, and we're looking for this one to continue lower. So that is a three-wave pullback here that we're looking at as a flat here. So we also have this one here as a three-wave structure. So you'll see here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We expect that to get another 1, 2, 3 before any talk of a move to the upside. The Nasdaq, similar, it's already building up that corrective structure. The Nasdaq also did not go. We expected it to have completed here and for it to go make a new high there, but it's not complete as yet. As you can see, we've got a move down here, three waves up, looking for this one to come around these levels before any talk of a reversal to the upside. That is the Nasdaq and the UK 100. So the UK 100 looks like the only index that is looking to push to the upside for one leg to the upside. Okay, so what we looked at here on the UK 100 towards the close was this structure here. We're looking for this to have been a running flat here and for this to continue pushing to the upside. So this may push for one more up before we get a deeper correction that we are getting on the rest of the indices. The DAX also still showing a flat move. It's not really going anywhere. It's going sideways. So on the DAX, this is the way the correction starts. This is the move here in the middle. So we'll expect this one to do a move, to make a move like this. So that is a three-wave structure here in the middle. 1, 2, 3. We expect the DAX to come around this level before we push to the upside. So looking bearish there on the DAX. Let's go back there. So I've lost my. So that is the DAX there and the Nikkei. So the Nikkei structure has been slightly complex, but this is what we've been looking at all along. For this to have made a three-wave move here in the middle, these are three waves in the middle, in the beginning of the wave, three-wave pullback, and we were looking for another three waves to the downside. We are still of that view. That has not changed. This can still push to the downside to complete the structure. That will still be the three waves that we're looking at. So you see here, you've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We can have 1, 2, 3. So this is a much lower degree than the rest here. So that will be in the green degree here. So that three waves there will be something like this. Will be in the green degree because it's smaller than the rest. So that is the one that we're going to expect to come down to around this level before any push to the upside. So the Nikkei also showing short-term bearish structure there. The Nifty finally reversed after a three-wave move. We were actually looking for this one to be all the three waves and for this to push to the upside. But what we're seeing here now is that this is all the three waves that is now completed. Any move or any confirmation of continuation to the upside, you can look to ride that Nifty to the upside. But very risky looking at how the Nifty has pushed up to the upside so far. So we'll just have to watch some divergence here on the RSI when it makes the new high here to see if we're not getting any. We're not going to get any deeper pullback than we've already got there. And that's all on the Forex commodities and the indices. If you're looking for the webinar or the video on the cryptocurrencies, look out for the cryptocurrency market analysis webinar on our channel. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what we do, give us a thumbs up, drop your comments, and hit that bell notification button so that you can get a notification next time we upload a video. Have a great week, everybody. Trade responsibly. Cheers. Bye-bye.